Hello, ladies. Uh, this is a crazy beginning to what is probably going to be a very, very crazy year. Um, I do apologize to you, first of all, for a lot of reasons, for just not being able to meet you in person by the delays and the changes the school has forced on all, you and me. Um, but also because Uh, this is a very unfortunate beginning to your university life. I mean, it's like for anybody around the world, beginning their university studies is a kind of special time. But it's maybe more so in Japan, right? Getting it, your entrance exam, getting admitted to the best school you can, um, and really beginning a new life. And especially for us at Kobe Jogakuin, with such a beautiful campus that we all thought we were going to be going um, to not be able to be there and to be stuck at home is hard. And yeah, you not only just the beauty of the campus, but being around other students, right? Teachers too. Uh, the campus atmosphere, being able to uh, join and become active in different clubs or sports, different kinds of activities. Um, the freshman camp was canceled for you, and even if you're not the type of person who kind of likes that kind of thing, because I'm not. If I were you, I'd say, "Oh, I don't want to go to that." But I also know from past years that students who felt like that and then went to the freshman camp, they really, really liked it. I don't know what happens there, but everybody comes back very, very positive. Um, but you're missing that too. So, I'm sorry. I'm really sorry. Um, we're all put into this very unfortunate situation, and but um, I think all these negatives and all these challenges are something that we can overcome if we work together on this, and that's important to remember that you, your classmates who you're going to meet very soon, and me, we're all working on this together, and keep working together. You promise work as hard as you can. I promise you I'm going to work as hard as I can. And we can make this a good year, uh, despite all these inconveniences and all these challenges and things. Actually, it's kind of there's some advantages too, right? Um, for this class and for a lot of your classes, you're going to be forced to learn new technology, and when this is all over, you will be much more technologically adept, skilled than your senpai ever were. You're going to know this stuff inside and out, and that's going to be a big advantage. And we have in English, we have an expression: "What doesn't kill you makes you stronger." What doesn't kill you makes you stronger. And the point is that by facing all these challenges, facing all these hardships, learning how to deal with them, and finding out that yes, you can overcome these things, that makes you a stronger person. And you will be a stronger person. And the hardships will also force you to grow up a lot faster. So at the end of your first year, you're going to be much more mature, grown up, than you would have otherwise. So it's not all negative. It's all pretty hard. I'll give you that. It's all pretty hard, and I know that right now I'm speaking to you a little bit quickly. Um, Here on Moodle, you found this video. Maybe you've downloaded it, but if you, depending on your software, maybe you can do this at home with your copy that you downloaded. But if you watch the video on YouTube, you get two things that you'd be able to do. One is you can enable the closed captions, Jimaku. So at the bottom of the screen, it'll automatically type out what I'm saying. And then two, if you look like under the options, you'll see speed. And if you want to, you can reduce the speed to, say, 75%. It might make this much easier to understand. But maybe you don't. Maybe you don't need that. Maybe your English is pretty good. I hope so. It's good. But, and if it's not, don't worry. Again, this is something that we're going to do together. The year is beginning. This is not even your first class. Natural to be a little bit shocked. And you haven't been hearing English for a while now, I'm guessing. So it's all a little bit difficult to understand. That's okay. That's okay. I hope that along with this link to this video, you've found the other material that I left for you, the PDFs. I hope you've read through them, looked at them, and you know what's there. If not, be sure that you do before Friday next week, before our first class. The main document is here, right here on your screen, on the right-hand side. And what's included in the package is a calendar for the first semester. And you should have already, I think, received the textbook or just the paper, the packet from the university, from college, Kobe College. And in that, we'll be covering about 3 units. We'll take a look at the calendar and things. The details may change. For example, July 24th is supposed to be a holiday. The school at first said no holiday, then they said yes holiday. So I don't know what the final decision will be, and so we'll have to, for that and maybe for other reasons too, adjust the calendar a little bit. And also in this packet, it explains about the structure of the semester. It explains about your grades, and explains your first assignment, which is very, very easy. But it's kind of important because it teaches you some how to do things, right? And the assignment is due after our first class. So our first class is on May 8th. The assignment's due on May 9th. And so if there's anything you don't understand about the assignment, you have a chance to ask in class next week. Important point. Don't be afraid to ask questions. All right. We'll meet for class. I'm going to say, are there any questions? Are there any questions? You can raise your hand, or you can just speak out to the group, because we're going to be using Zoom. I think most of you probably have used it by now, or by the time the classes will begin. If not, that's okay. We will figure it out. We'll learn together. We'll learn how to use it. But there's ways to just speak whenever you need to speak, to raise your hand to be recognized. Sensei. There's also ways to send me by typing in chat questions to me privately if you're shy and you don't want everybody else to hear your question. But however you do it, the questions are important, because in our class we have about 20 people, 19, 20, 21. And I promise it's never just one person. And if you don't understand, I promise you, in a class of 20, 7, 8, maybe 10 or 12 people, they don't understand either. And it's really important for me as a teacher to know when people don't understand, because, yeah, it's never one person, right? And it doesn't matter that when we don't finish my lesson plan for the day, that's not what's important. What's important is that you learn something, right? So we'll go as slow as we need to make sure that you understand. I'll explain things over and over to make sure that you understand. Because, again, if I'm sitting there talking and no one understands what I'm saying, we're kind of all wasting our time, right? So let me know. Let me know. Let me know. Again, we're doing this together, and I do need your help with that, right? And it's helpful for the other people who are too chicken to ask questions, right? Okay. All right. So let's get to our calendar and see what's what, huh? Again, Moodle is where all the information is going to come from. Talking about the course, we've got again 3 units. After each of the units in the textbook, there'll be a written test about the main points there. And I don't know if you've looked at that textbook or that course book material, whatever you want to call it. It's not very difficult English, but the way that the college has designed this course is that small details can be important. We go through the textbook. I'll explain to you what I mean. So when you're doing the written test, small things, details, grammar will be important. However, for each unit, there'll also be a speaking test, an oral test. And for those, the grammar is much less important. For those, what's important is that you just try to speak as much as you can. And we'll have lots of practice in class. With the Zoom meetings, I'll be able to break the class up into small groups. So in groups of 3 or 4 people, 4 or 5 people, you guys will have a chance to talk to each other. I'll go from room to room and talk to each of you as best I can. I'll come back together, and maybe you guys can share what you talked about with the rest of the class. I think it'll be fun. And again, the test this time will be kind of modified a bit because we're not in class together, and there won't be anything to be afraid of. You'll be able to do them without any problem. And if you look at the textbook, there's not much there, in fact. So in addition to what's in the textbook, I will also be bringing additional material. Some of it's video. And at the very beginning, you'll see one of the first things we'll work with the video before we work with the textbook, about introductions, about meeting people. And it's kind of interesting. You'll have also some assignments of like a video to watch, maybe small quizzes, small tests on the videos that I assign. Sometimes there'll be readings, but it's important that you get that background information before class. It'll make the class much easier. It'll make the class more fun and things. So again, we'll do that together. We'll try to make it as much fun as we can. So we'll have the 3 units. We'll have the 3 test days. The test day will be part of its writing, part of its speaking. There'll be all kinds of discussions, and I'll be watching and scoring those. Some of those you'll be on your own, giving reports. Sometimes I'll be watching you. Sometimes you'll have to submit written summaries of what you talked about in your group. There'll be homework, mostly from the textbook, but some other things too. And then at the end, instead of a big final exam, I thought it would be more fun to have one big student video project. Because I said, we're going to be working with the technology. You're going to be working with your computers and webcams all the time, or your phones. You'll be become a real expert at being able to do video on your phones. It'll be very easy for you to create something. And it might be something that you do live in classroom, with a group. Maybe you can do it by yourself. You could do it in a group. But make some kind of video project based on what we did. A funny discussion, a funny dialogue, two people traveling, two people talking about summer vacation, two or three people talking about their boyfriends. Anything as long as it's English. Something that you can enjoy, something that's fun. I think that's a lot more fun than a test. But if you don't want to do that and you prefer, I can make you a test if you like. I don't mind. All right? But I think the video is more fun. I think you maybe learn more too. All right, so your grades. 20% will be assignments and homework. I said a lot of it from the textbook to make sure that, so we don't have to, if you do it at home, do it for homework. We don't have to use that time in class. Just mentioned written tests, one for each unit. Oral tests, one for each unit. These final video presentations that I talked about, or a test if you want to test. And then just your general attendance and participation. This is the calendar for the semester, our first class. So not our first class, but for our next class, 15th, I'm going to give you it's not there yet because I haven't uploaded it yet, but I'll give you I haven't made it yet. I'm going to make a very short, not like today's kind of long. Today's about half an hour. This will be very short. It'll be less than 5 minutes. It'll be a very short video with some information about Canada. I will give you a small test on that so that I know that you watched it and that you got the listening practice. And what you learn about Canada will make our in-class video much easier for you because you'll know a lot of the information. Things will make more sense. So we'll work with a video in class. It's about people meeting each other on the first day of class, which we don't get to do. We have to do this by computer. But these people can. Actually, the video is kind of old, so you'll see that they wouldn't be able to do this on the internet when they were doing. So it's getting old. It's maybe 20 years old, the video. But the language hasn't changed that much. All right. And then we'll work on greetings and introduction pretty much. And then we'll have, by the end of the month, we'll have our first test. And it basically is just like, how do you greet somebody, introduce yourself. That's it. It's very, very, very easy. Then we'll talk about past experiences, stories, high school, this past spring semester, probably some interesting stories. Or even elementary school, your childhood times. Then I'll have another test, and then interesting experiences. Have you ever? Have you been to a foreign country? Have you ever eaten Russian food? Whatever it might be. And then emphasis on asking people questions. People telling their story. Then you listen to their story. You ask them questions. Another test, and then our workshop, and then we're done. And it's summer vacation. It'll go by very fast, and I don't think you're going to find it difficult at all. You will have homework, as I said, and here are some emails. So I have 2 classes of these English workshop, this GE100 class, right? English communication. Half of you, I have in the first period on Friday, first period, Kinyowi, Ichigenmei. I've had the other half of you Friday, third period. After lunch, Friday, third period. So that's in the afternoon at 2 o'clock, right? So when you submit your work, use these email addresses, right? And when it comes in, it automatically goes to the correct mailbox. You receive a answer saying, "Yay, I got your email. Let's got it." And I haven't read it. I'll read it as soon as I can and give you some feedback. But it's an automatic response, and it's just to let you know that yes, you sent it to the right address, and yes, it got here. I've got it, and it's waiting for me. So it's just like a little acknowledgement that everything is okay. However, if you got a question, got a problem, this is the address that you use, right? And it's here on the material too, right? Because this one I'll see right away, pretty soon. These I might not, usually to the weekend. I don't have time during the week. Usually I'm busy teaching every day. Saturday, Sunday, I don't, weekend I do my schoolwork, right? Check people's homework and things like that. And then here's another explanation of the grading. And here for you, secret, don't tell the school. You should have received a paper version of the book. I don't know if they sent you an electronic version, but this is the textbook, but it's in a PDF format. So if you prefer reading and doing things on your PC, or if you prefer doing things on your phone or on a tablet, that might make it easier. I don't know. We'll see. It saves you the trouble of taking pictures of the page or to scan it. You've got it in digital form, but don't tell anybody. Okay. So I said you had an assignment for May 9th. And we're talking about like the homework and things, and class next year, the Zoom class. For example, next week we're going to do a Zoom meeting, right? So maybe if you haven't used it for another class, maybe you want to go to the website, zoom.us, and take a look. Maybe for your PC, download the app. It might make it easier, might make it smoother for you. Though you can do it from the web browser, like Safari or Firefox, whatever, Chrome, whatever you use. That's okay too. It might be easier for you if you have the app. I'm not sure that there's a big difference. But if something happens, for example, if before then, you've got my email. But once the class begins, I'm going to be kind of busy and kind of trying to keep track of everybody and keep the class going. And if you can't enter the meeting, if you can't get in, emergency, right? Go ahead. Don't be, if you panic and you can't get into the meeting, can't get into the room, I'll hear that. I'll hear the phone ring, and I'll know that you're trying to get in, and we'll try to fix the problem, okay? But, yeah, kind of emergency only. But just in case, so that you're not just left to think, oh, I couldn't get in. You've got this, okay? No excuse, right? Okay. So for your assignment, again, you got your first period class, use this one. Third period, use this one. You want to contact me directly, use this email address. And the assignment's actually very, very simple. Very, 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 very simple. You're going to send me an email. Use the correct address. Hint though. In the subject field, and a lot of people don't know this, right? Subject, your name, Kobe College, the university that you're at. Because many teachers, I teach, for example, I teach four different universities, right? Kobe College, Friday, first period, F1. Or Friday, third period, F3, right? And then, what's inside? Is it a question? Is it an assignment? Is it a late assignment? Is it, from maybe it's a survey, whatever it might be. A problem with Moodle, a problem with Zoom. Put it in the subject. And also with your other materials, the other thing that I'm putting up is a separate PDF about how to send email to anybody. Now, it's not just for our class, but email manners, email etiquette, sending email properly. Now, most of the time for your teachers, but it's good to learn that. It's good to remember it because it'll be important for you because you're going to be using email your whole life. I think. I don't know. Maybe email will get replaced with something else. Why not? But for a while anyway, yeah, not only your teachers, but if you start looking for jobs, part-time jobs or full-time jobs, learning how to send the email correctly is kind of important. It can make a difference in your life, right? It's like, oh, she seems like a nice girl, but look, she doesn't even know how to send an email. So look that over or learn how to do that correctly, right? And say, when you send an email to somebody, explain who you are. It's like, hi, I'm Keiko. I'm in your third period class on Wednesday at Osaka Gaidai, or wherever it is that you're a student, right? So learn how to do that. It's all there. It's all in that one etiquette. But this page part here is specifically for this assignment, right? A lot of it's the same, the duplicate, same kind of thing. But it's a very, very simple. You send me an email to the right address. Now this is F1, right? First period. You guys who are in the afternoon, don't use F1. F3. Friday, third period. All right, send it to the right address. And I just want you to introduce yourself. It lets me know something about you. It lets me see a little bit about how you write. Get to know you a little bit. So introduce yourself. Tell me something about yourself. And send me a picture. Include a picture as an attachment. Again, kind of a training, right? So just any kind of selfie. It doesn't have to be a formal picture. But, no fake nose, no ears. It should look like you. I want the picture because I want to know what you look like. I don't want to know no distortions, no big eyes, no dog noses. Let me see. It should look like you. It can be fun. It can be casual. It doesn't have to be a formal no smile picture. I mean, it's fine if that's who you are, but a casual picture that expresses your personality, that also helps me know a little bit more about you. I'm sending you this video so you know what I'm like. Send me your picture so I know a little bit what you're like. And then send it to me by May 9th. Okay, so that's after class, the day after. So we have class on Friday. This is due the next day on the 9th. So if there's anything here that's not clear, that you don't understand, write down the question, and next Friday during class, ask. Don't ever be afraid to ask questions. Don't be afraid to say you don't know. Don't be afraid to say you don't understand. Those are all good things. Because I hear stories and from students. I hear stories from teachers. And the teachers get angry because students make mistakes. They don't know the answer. It doesn't make any sense to me. Why do we go to school? Well, sometimes maybe to get a good job. Okay. But part of that is, well, we go to school because we want to learn. We want to learn things that we don't know. We go to school because we don't know, because we want to learn. So then why does the teacher get angry at students when they don't know? Because if you know everything already, then you don't need to go to school. You could be the teacher, right? So please never be afraid to ask questions. And when we look at Zoom, or maybe you have already, you can different ways to ask questions. You can just say the question to the group. There's ways to raise your hand and get the attention of the teacher and ask a question. Or you can go on private chat and you can ask me the question privately. No one will see your question. So some people are really, really shy and they feel bad asking a question. And it's like, yeah, with 20 people, I promise you, it's never one person. If one person doesn't understand, I promise you, in a class of 20 people, 7, 8, maybe 12, 13 people, they don't know either. They don't understand. And if I'm just talking, nobody understands, everybody's just wasting their time, right? It's not important. So I want to do A, B, and C today. If we don't get to B and C, that's okay, as long as you're learning something, right? Me talking through points B and point C, if nobody understands it, there's no meaning, right? So don't worry about that. It's not my class. It's your class, right? So look over the material. You don't need to rewatch the video. There's not much in here except that emergency phone number. But look over the material. Look at the email etiquette PDF. Write down your questions, or type your questions, however you want to save it. And when next Friday comes, there'll be plenty of chance for you to ask those questions. All right? Okay. I don't want to make this any longer for you than I have to, so I think I've said enough. Please check Moodle through the week. I think you'll just get notified automatically, but I'm not exactly sure how Moodle works at this university, the way that they've got it set up. So we'll both learn a little bit, go slow and things. So next Friday we will we will meet on Zoom. You will receive a Zoom meeting notice. If you don't, send me an email. I'll try to send the information a day or two in advance. That way, because if one person didn't get it, that means maybe that nobody got it. And that I need to know, because I'll start this class session at 9 on Friday morning, and nobody will be there, and I'll be very lonely. So if there's a problem, I need to know. So please, onegaishimasu. All right. Okay. Again, write down your questions, and I hope your first days at school are okay. I know it's really hard, but we can talk about that on Friday. All right. Okay. All right. See you guys then, huh? Okay. Have a good week, and be safe. Take this corona thing seriously. It's not just an old person sickness, right? People can get sick too. Be careful. Bye-bye.